You seen the title of the video. Your girl is back again with another story time. If you're to my channel, hey girl, hey. And if you're a returning subscriber, I don't even have to say anything because you know what's up, I know what's up, we know what's up, and that's on what? That's on what? That's on period and Mary Had a Little Lamb. As y'all can see by the title and the thumbnail, this is part 5 of the War series. If you have not seen any of the other parts, please go back and watch those parts because you're going to be confused and not know what's going on. I'm going to pin them down below, and I'm also going to pin my Patreon because a lot of y'all are saying, Asia, I do not see the Patreon, so I'm going to pin it down below. Go back and watch that. And y'all, the reason why I'm recording this video right now in my kitchen, and the reason why y'all even getting this video, because I know y'all like, Asia, I did not think you was gonna come back with part 5 that quick. And y'all, I wasn't, but I'm very mindful, I'm very demure. I'm going on vacation today and I'm leaving for about 5 days. And typically, if I vacation the way I'm supposed to vacation, I typically come back with no voice, y'all, and I be tired. So I don't want to leave y'all hanging, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop it today. So like this video, because I'm recording this video, editing this video, and posting it all in one day. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna take y'all back a little bit. We're gonna leave off where we left off in the last story time, but I do have to update y'all on some information because every time I'm editing, I'll be remembering stuff. So I don't think I told y'all. I should have told y'all this in part 1. And I'm also gonna create a second video for my Patreon members, and I'm gonna basically screen record all the initial DMs and stuff because there's so many red flags in there. I told y'all in part 1, the only red flag that I really peeped in that main message, that she was like, tell me about yourself. I thought that was very peculiar. Like, no one has ever said a sentence up with that. Tell me about yourself. Like, I'm shooting my front shots. Like, it was just very unorganic and it was not natural at all. So I thought that was weird. But I'm gonna link all the initial DMs in my Patreon. Y'all probably would catch more red flags than I did. And as time went on this trip, all of these things started popping out to me. That's how I know it's more than her just being a pathological liar. She has psychological issues, y'all. And part 1, I told y'all within the first day of meeting her, she was already telling me that she wanted to make a type of friend that she can trust around her husband, her kids. Mind you, she don't have a husband, she don't have any kids, but she was saying this was the type of friendship she wanted. She wanted to be able to trust him around her man, her friend. She's telling me this all within like 3 days of knowing me, all in 3 days. As of today, she's currently still begging for friends. Multiple people have told me since I posted the first video that this same person has reached out to them asking to be friends. You ought to think after 60 days and 60 nights of begging for friends, you would have connected with somebody right now, but you haven't, because all of these people are having the same experience of going back and forth in the DM. She's telling me this. We also didn't hop on the phone until maybe like 2-3 weeks, and more so we hopped on the phone simply because I was thinking of like the business aspect of it. If you have me on Patreon, I put that voice memo in there, and it was about 4 minutes of her talking about her business plan. And this is why at first I thought she would be a good prospect to join me on my business trip, y'all. So I do want to mention, one day when we were on the phone, this is like maybe 3 weeks of knowing her, she told me about her dysfunctional family, her upbringing, and in the mix of that, y'all, she also told me that her boyfriend, she felt like her boyfriend saved her. She told me when she was 17 years old, she had really bad anger issues, and she literally stabbed a girl. Yes, y'all, she stabbed a girl. I don't want to be biased, so I will like to add, in her defense, she said that she was getting jumped, and her sentiment was that she believes there's no rules in fighting. And I'm in agreement with her on that. I don't know what she stabbed her with. I do not recall. I don't know what it was with, but she said she stabbed a girl. She got arrested, and all of this was expunged off her record. And her boyfriend, her king, because she makes this man seem so lovely, and then later as the story go on, I find out that she was lying about all of this stuff about this man, how he paid for her flight, how he paid for this, how he wines and dines her, he buys her purses, he do all of these things for her. But later, all of these things were null and void. Like, none of this stuff was true from, we gonna get there, y'all. So anyway, she tells me that she stabbed a girl. Her boyfriend helped her get into trucking. He taught her how to drive 18-wheelers. He paid for all of her legal fees, and she moved to this new state with this man, and she literally didn't have any family support. So she's telling me all of this, and this is making me, I'm a very emotional person, y'all. I'm not gonna hold you. it was really tugging on me. Like, I was just like, wow, this is a really aspirational story. I told y'all, I'm not a hater. If you young and you get into the bag and you had a rough upbringing, kudos to you. Pat yourself on the back. So I'm just like uplifting her. I'm like, wow, that's beautiful. Shout out to your man. Like, just boosting him up or whatever. Now, let's go back to where we were at in part 4 of the story time. Part 4, we're literally at this excursion place. We're getting ready to do ATVs. I told y'all that she was trying to ignore one of my clients. The client was asking for the waiver form, and she was acting like she was confused. Like, she was basically trying to ignore the client, but trying to play it off on the sly. Like I said, y'all, I was literally like one person. I think one client was sitting next to me, and then it was another. No, the client was sitting like 2 seats from me, and Warris was standing kind of like directly in front of me, and then the ATV instructor was standing beside her. So I seen all of this, y'all. I'm not confused about anything. She's the only one that lives in a delusional land. So she yells at the client. The client snatches the paper back from her, and she's like, "What the fuck? Let me see the form. The fuck?" And she takes the form. The client is irate. She's pissed off at this point, y'all. So she's just talking her ish or whatever. And she's talking out loud. And I'm looking at Warris, and y'all, I wanted God himself to pick me up and just take me to heaven. I wanted to go to heaven, y'all. I wanted God to just come get me, y'all. Because when this happened, my mouth literally dropped. Like, my mouth dropped. I'm like, I put my head down and I just go like this, and I'm looking at everybody else, and I'm low-key praying. I'm praying to God. I'm like, I'm praying nobody else peeped this. I'm praying nobody else seen this, because mind you, this is day 3 on the trip. We are spending an entire week with her, y'all. I knew she had already showed her ass with me, but I didn't think she was gonna be treating my clients this way, because it was very confusing. Remember in the last part, I told y'all when I read her text messages, she was saying that she wanted to impress me. She wanted to prove to me that she could do this. So I didn't think that she was intentionally doing this. I just think she just got overwhelmed. So she yells at the client. The client catches an attitude with her. The client is basically talking her ish. Basically, I do want to mention, y'all, that this client is a grown woman. Warris is 23 years old, y'all. This client, I believe she's over the age of 30. So not only like you being disrespectful, but you disrespecting your elders. She's older than you. Why are you disrespecting her, y'all? And this is one of my repeat clients. So I'm really just like not wanting to add fuel to the fire. So I don't say anything. I don't want to disrespect Warris. I don't want to disrespect the client. And you know, it looked like I'm choosing sides. So I was just like, let me not add any fuel. Let me not even add any ad libs, because I was like, ugh. And I just started sinking in my seat right there, y'all. Because I'm like, please, God, please just come get me. Come get me, y'all. So I'm sitting down, and the client has an attitude. She gives the paper to the instructor. She's talking her ish or whatever, because she's mad that Warris tried to play her or whatever, tried to ignore her with the waiver. And all of this was unnecessary. This was very unnecessary. Like, why couldn't you just give her the paper? She didn't say it rudely. She didn't say any type of way. She was just like, hey, can I see the paper? Can I see the paper? Grab the paper. And Warris is like, she has an attitude. She's like this. She's looking around. Like, she not talking to me. Because the girl is talking smack. And I'm like this. I'm literally like this, not saying anything. I'm just listening to the instructor talk, y'all. We go on our excursion. I think this excursion started at like 2 o'clock. And it was a fun excursion. I'm not gonna hold you. This was honestly one of my best excursions. If you ever go to Indonesia, I would definitely recommend this excursion. We had a ball. It was a fun time, but it was a lot going on, y'all. This was like one of the craziest ATVs. I do ATV anytime I go to on vacation. I always do ATV, y'all, but this was one of the craziest ones. Like, nothing could have prepared me for the hills and the dips and the drops and the splashes that was on this ATV route. We do the ATV. After ATV, I don't say anything to Warris. When I see my client and I have some alone time with her, I apologize on behalf of Warris. I'm like, I am so sorry that she yelled at you. I don't know what's going on with her. Like, I apologize. And my client is just venting to me and basically saying, like, I don't know who the F she thought she was talking to. But I'm not the one. Like, I'm not the one. And she was already telling me that she already peeped what was up with Warris. Like, she was already peeping her energy, and her vibe was like really fake, y'all. Like, it was bad. Like, it was just, she had really fake energy. Fast forward to after the excursion, We have like an hour ride back to our villa, and on the way back to our villa, the vibes are good. Everybody's singing along. We having a good time. We get to the house, and I think the next thing on our itinerary, we were going to the club that night. When I got back to the house, my first thing, I needed to talk to Wars. And like I told y'all, prior to this trip, I told her I was not going to critique her or tell her about herself until the end of the trip. I was taking notes. Also, if y'all want to see my notes, I'll break them down at the end of the series. I'll break them down, what each thing was. But I was taking constructive criticism, so once the trip was over, I can go ahead and let her know, like, I noticed this, you did this, you did, you know what I'm saying? I was taking notes for her. Little did I know that all of this was going to transpire over this trip. So I'm gonna also link the notes on my Patreon, y'all. But I'm literally taking notes, and I said that I was not gonna critique her. I was not gonna question her. I was just gonna let her be her. I just wanna see how you work in your natural habitat. Like, I just want to see what you're inclined to do, not what I tell you to do, not me checking you saying, hey, do this. I just want to see how you work, because that's what your training was for. Before she even before we even decided that she was going to go on this trip, she started joining some of my team meetings with my other co-hosts, and we would go through like scenarios and how you would act. And this wasn't the scenario, y'all, but you know when you get a job and they be like, let me just give y'all an example. They be like, little Johnny hit you in the eye and you work at a daycare. What do? A, report to little Johnny's parent. B, tell little Johnny's parent and tell the staff at the daycare agency that you work at. 3, beat little Johnny's ass. Like, which one do you choose? All of my co-hosts, all of the girls are like, B. It's definitely B. I'm gonna go ahead and tell the people that run the daycare, and I'm gonna tell little Johnny's parent to let them know that he got in trouble today because he popped me in my eye. But y'all, you can't prepare nobody for stuff like this. Like, she was doing well. She was doing so well on all of the scenarios. She answered the right way. We went through, if this happens, what do? None of this stuff was a surprise. But I told y'all on day 1, when 2 of my clients got locked out of their room, and I had said, hey, I'm going to give this client your room and you can come sleep with me tonight. She was like, they gonna sleep on my seats. Like, she was already switched up, y'all. Fast forward or whatever, we at the house. Soon as we get back to the house after the excursion, I go knocking on her door, y'all. And this is another thing where I felt like she was bipolar. Like, remember the first week, we literally were sleeping in the same villa together, taking showers together. We were close. Every morning I would come, this is before my client got there and brought me all of my makeup, y'all. Every morning we would literally share makeup. She didn't have any problems with me using her makeup products. But once the trip started with the girls, I would come and I would knock on her door, y'all. And I remember one day I knocked on her door and she didn't answer. Her door was unlocked. So I came in her room. I didn't necessarily want to wake her up. I just knocked in there to go get like eyeliner or just get makeup products or something that I needed. Or sometimes I would knock on her door to say, hey, make sure you up to get content for this, or don't make sure you do this, or hey, breakfast is about to start. Just little stuff like that or whatever. And when I'm going in her room, this is after the excursion, y'all. I'm going to her room and I knocked on the door and I'm like, hey, Warriors, I need to talk to you. She was on the phone with her man at the time. And as I'm entering her room, she was just like, hey, I need privacy. Is it important? I said, yeah, it is important. I want to talk to you about what happened earlier. So she's like, I'll call you back. Asia want to talk to me. Hangs up the phone and she's like, what's up? I said, I know I told you I wasn't going to critique you or give you any feedback or talk to you until the end of the trip, but this right here was unnecessary. Like, this is, I don't tolerate this. Like, that's crazy disrespect. So she looks at me all confused and she's just like, what? I was joking with homegirl. I was joking with her. You thought I yelled at her? Yelled? I didn't know I yelled at her. Y'all, the girl tries to gaslight me like I'm crazy. Me and all my clients, all 15 of our, well, not 15. I'm not good at math, y'all. All 24 of our eyes seen you yell at this girl. And now you trying to gaslight me to make me think that I'm crazy, that I'm delusional, that I live on your island. What? So she's like, oh, she's like, oh, I didn't yell at her. I didn't know I was yelling at her. So I'm like, Warris, be for real. Come on now. Be for real. You know that you yelled at her. And I cannot tolerate that. That is unacceptable. You're supposed to be an assistant. and you here being a nuisance. Like, that, we cannot have that. So she was just like, oh my gosh, well, I didn't know I yelled at her. I already talked to her. She knew I was playing. You want me to apologize to her? I said, see, that's the problem. You shouldn't need to apologize to anybody. Why are you apologizing? And then after she gaslighted me for like 10 minutes and she knew I wasn't gonna go for y'all, then that's when she was just like, I got overwhelmed. I got overstimulated. I got overwhelmed. I told you I have anxiety. I told you I had anxiety. I said, there's nothing wrong with you getting overwhelmed or needing a breather, but I've been doing this for a year now, and you think I never had an annoying client before? You think I never dealt with an annoying client? But I know how to treat people. I know how to talk to people. I'm not going to just start acting all crazy when somebody gave me their money. I'm not telling you that you have to take disrespect from people, but yelling, that's OD. So she was just like, I'm going to go apologize to her. I was like, I already apologized to her on your behalf. It's not about you needing to apologize. That's the problem. Like, you should never have to apologize to somebody. Like, that's crazy or whatever. So she was just like, you don't find her annoying? You don't find her annoying? Like, she was just doing so much talking and I got overstimulated. Everybody and their mama already knew what a waiver form was. I said, I get that. I know that. We all knew what the waiver form was. You're going to have people that's going to want to be extra and they want to read for themselves. But this was like, that wasn't the time and the place. So she's apologizes to me and she's just like, is this going to affect my chances of being hired for you officially? Like, are you going to just take your client side? I said, this is not about me taking my client side, and I'm not expecting everybody to like you. You're not ice cream. Like, everybody is not going to like you. Everybody don't like me. But you can't say I was disrespectful. You cannot like me, but I'm never going to disrespect any of my clients. So I said, no, we'll talk about this once the trip is over or whatever. I leave her room and I go back to my room, y'all, and I start getting ready for later on that night. Fast forward to that night. I forgot what club we were going to, but we were going to some club in Semiac. And was this our first? I think this was our first club night. This is day 3 of the trip, y'all. This is the first night that we're going out together. I get ready, all the girls get ready, and the girls that's already ready, they go out to like the living room and they start pre-gaming and drinking and stuff. And I'm a little behind, like I'm still doing my hair or whatever. I'm still getting ready. And like I'm going in and out like the living room, and I see that everybody's already drinking. Again, y'all, I'm always asking Wars, is she okay? Is she good? Because I noticed that she just needed that reinsurance. Like, she needed constant reinsurance. I told y'all she was already peaked that she was insecure. Anytime I would have something on, she would always compare herself to me. Anytime she put on an outfit, y'all, I literally had to compliment her and be like, yeah, you look good. And if I didn't give her the ooh ah factor that she wanted, then she'd be like, oh, should I wear this? Should I wear this purse? What purse should I wear? Like, she needed outside validation for everything that she did. Anytime she put on a fit or a dress, if I did not compliment her, she would be like, Asia, do you like my outfit? Is this too much? So I guess, y'all, I peeped it, and that's just me anyway. Like, naturally, if I go out with anybody, I'm gonna compliment my friends. I'm gonna hype them up. I'm gonna tell them they look good. But I did notice when I did not give her any compliments or tell her that she looked good, she would like question her whole outfit. She would want to go change. Like, it was just, her mood would just be off, y'all. Keep that in mind, y'all, that the first week we were literally living pretty much in close proximity, and then the second week we lived in 2 different houses, and she started acting like I was asking like too much, or anytime I would come around and like try to use her makeup, that's when she starts switching up. It's like, hey, can you knock? Can you do this? Can you do that? And it's just like, girl, you damn near lived up my booty hole a week ago. Now you have a problem with me knocking on your room door to go grab some makeup products when you in bed. And that night it was the same thing. She came to my room, asked me how I felt about her outfit. She had on this dress. I said, your outfit looked good. She asked me later tomorrow, can I like take pictures of her in the dress? I said, yeah, girl, I'll take pictures for you. And she was fine, y'all. She was normal. She was herself. And then some of the girls were going to the living room and they were like pre-gaming or whatever they were drinking. I think maybe like 5 minutes had passed by. I went to the living room and I'm like, hey y'all, the driver's gonna be here in about 10 minutes. And then I see Wars, and she's in the living room with the girls and she's drinking, and she seems like she's drunk, y'all. But mind you, she was just in my room 5 minutes ago and she was okay. She was fine. And now I'm in the living room and you leaning and everything's funny. She's like this. I love you guys. I love you so much. She's doing toast. She's like, oh my gosh, I love y'all. All like, I don't think all the girls was ready, but I think like, it was 10 girls total. I think maybe like 8 of them was already in the living room, y'all, and they was ready to go. And she's doing these little toasts to herself. And she's like, I love you guys. They're doing like little shots and stuff. She's like, I love you guys. I love y'all so much. And she's just saying all this sentimental stuff to them, y'all. And she's like hugging one of the girls. And I'm just kind of like, are you drunk? And I look at her because that was one of the things. Prior to the trip, I told her, as my co-host, of course I want you to have a good time. But getting drunk, you are not allowed to get drunk. Do not get drunk. Because I don't know about y'all, but people act different when they get drunk. And keep in mind, this is still a work trip. You drinking, that's completely fine. But just know your limit. You big as hell. If you falling in all of, I can't pick you up. I don't have the needs for it. So I didn't want her overdoing it, y'all. I did not want her drinking crazy. So I was like, I pulled her to the side and I'm like, are you good? Are you drunk? She's like, Asia, I'm not drunk. I'm just acting. I'm not drunk. I said, are you sure? Are you good? She's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm like, all right. The driver comes, y'all. He picks us up. We get to the club. When we get to the club, I end up negotiating getting us a section. And when we first get to the section, we get the hookah flowing, we get the bottles flowing, we drinking, and we having a good time. And I was tipsy that night, y'all. I was on one. We all just drinking in the section. We dancing. We just drinking. They playing piano music. That's one thing about Bali clubs. They got good DJs, y'all. So we're just dancing or whatever. We're smoking hookah. And you know, we just having a vibe. And one moment while we're in the section, what was I doing? I know I have it in my notes, y'all. Like, we were in the club and she was in the section like taking pictures, going like this, like taking pictures of herself. And my arm or something was in her pictures. Like I don't know what I was doing. I probably was twerking or dancing or something, y'all. And my arm was like in her picture or whatever. And she caught an attitude or whatever. And she was just like, see, this picture would have been so effing cute if you weren't in it. If your arm was in this picture, it would have been so effing cute. So I apologize. I'm like, damn, my bad. You want me to take your pictures? She's like, no, I got it or whatever. She catches an attitude about that. And then after she catches an attitude, the next thing you know, she's on my neck like this. Asia, hey. What the fuck, you just had an attitude because my elbow was taking over your picture. Now you on my neck. So she's on my neck. I don't have any animosity towards anybody. We dancing, we vibing, we having a good time. I'm gonna put some of the clips in my Patreon. I didn't even know that I was that lit that night. When I look back at the footage, I'm like, what the hell? I was doing splits in the club like this, ass all out. We was just having a good time, y'all. We had a really good time. Even at one point, one of the girls sent me a picture of me and her in the section, and I'm knocked out in the section. It's like 2, we didn't leave the club until like 3 a.m. and it's like 2 o'clock at one point, and we are dead sleep in the we dead sleep in the section, and I'm leaning on her. And then we get back up and we're just dancing or whatever, and we just having a good time, y'all. Fast forward, we didn't get home probably until, I think we probably got home. We got home late. Maybe it was like almost 4 a.m. in the morning, y'all. We got home. When we get home, like I told y'all, I am not disclosing any of my clients. The only reason why y'all get into story time is simply because this is beyond me. And once I tell y'all what's happening later, that's the only reason why y'all get into story time. I'm not doing story times over on my Patreon about any of my clients, y'all. But anyway, back to what I was saying. One of my clients, oh my gosh, let me go back. On the way to the club, we were pre-gaming in a car, and we were taking shots in the car, and one of my clients disclosed that she doesn't like people recording her doing shots or whatever. She said one day she wants to be a lawyer, so she don't like people filming her do certain things. And I was just like, oh, okay. I respect it or whatever. But I would never post anything of you to make you look bad in any type of light or whatever. And she's like, yeah, I know you can record me, but just don't record me taking shots. And she's mainly telling Wars this because Wars is recording us while we're drinking or whatever, and she has like the flash on. Just keep this in mind, y'all. I'm in the back of the car just having fun, shaking my ass, just having a good time, y'all. Keep all of this in mind. Keep it in mind, y'all. Fast forward back to where we're at. We get to the house after the club. One of my clients come to my room, and they're like, Asia, and they kind of lit. They're like, Asia, is Wars gay? And I'm like, remember, y'all, she just had told me like 2 days ago before the girls came, I ended up finding out that she was bisexual. She's like, is Wars gay? And I'm like, no, she got a man. And she's like, I know she be screaming about her man and saying she got a man, but is she gay? I'm like, I can't, y'all. I don't, you got to put it on the paper. I don't read between the lines. So I'm like, what's up? Like, what's up? And she was just like, she like grabbed me by my junk. She grabbed my junk when we was in the club. And I'm like, she grabbed your junk? Like, what you mean? And she's like, she literally like broke me. She grabbed me. And I just was laughing, y'all, because I'll keep in mind, this is after the club. It's like 3 a.m. in the morning, and I'm still a little tipsy. I'm tired. And I'm like, girl, what? And I'm laughing, y'all. I'm like, girl, what? And the client is laughing. She's just like, yeah. I thought she was gay. I thought she had a man, but she was grabbing me. And I was just like, I don't know. I didn't think she was gay. And at this point, y'all, anything that happened that first week, I didn't disclose any of this to my clients. Even now, some of my clients have seen these videos, and they have reached out to me, and they've been like, Asia, you were so professional. I didn't have any idea that any of this was going on. And y'all, I wanted to keep it that way. Like, I literally wanted to keep it that way. Like, I didn't want any of this to like come out on the trip, because I just feel like they're paying for a service no matter what. If I was going through hell, that was my hell to go through alone. That wasn't my hell to put on my clients when they paid for a service. I would never go on a trip and be complaining. Like, you would never see me on a trip and I'm complaining about life. You know what I mean? Like, I just wouldn't do it, y'all. So when the client tells me this, and she's laughing, and she was just like, oh girl, I just want to know the tea if she was gay. And I'm just like, I don't know, or whatever. She laughs it off. She gets out of my room, y'all. And I was dying laughing to myself, because I was like, what the y'all? Because mind you, I couldn't tell nobody this. At the time, I didn't even have time to express this to my man, because the trip, it was going like this. Like, this. Like, I couldn't even really just come in my room and like decompress and just tell my man. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of like talking to myself and God. I'm like, God, what the hell? And I knew she was being friendly, but you know how like some people, when they get that liquor in them, they turn a little fruity, y'all. And she was like leaning on people, and anytime she got drinks in her, she was like the bubbly type. She got really happy and really friendly and just huggy and touchy on people. But I never peeped any of this. But mind you, I was also under the influence in the club, so I never peeped any of this. And when I'm at the club, it's the normal things for girls just to like tap people on the butt and stuff. So at the time, I'm thinking like maybe she accidentally went down a little too far. Yeah, I don't know. It was just very peculiar. And at the time, I remember being in my bedroom talking to the guy. I'm like, what the y'all? I'm in disbelief. Fast forward to that following day. This is the day that we were going to, let me check. It was this, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say this was the day where we were going to Creta. If y'all don't know what Creta is, I'm going to post pictures right here for my Patreon members. It's basically like this infinity pool place. It's very popular, and it's just a very popular place that you go to in Bali. I'm going to check. Okay, I'm lying, y'all. The next day we did the y'all know the infamous Bali dresses, like the, what are they called, the long dresses or whatever. We did the flowy dresses. This day, nothing that I can think of really spoke out to me. Obviously, like I said, y'all, it would be like the bipolarness would be there. Like, I think the morning of this trip, again, y'all, we're sharing makeup products. My client brought me my foundation, but she didn't bring me setting powder. She didn't bring me my concealer and stuff like that. So I was going to her room early in the morning and I would gather some of the makeup products and I would bring them back. This particular day, I remember she had told me the previous day that I need to knock on her door. She needs privacy. I need to give her time to answer. So this particular day, I wake up mad early, like at 6 a.m. in the morning. I don't know why I do that, y'all, but when I'm on vacation, my body, y'all, my SD card end up getting full and I had to switch it out. But back to what the hell I was saying. Damn, where was I at? I'm sitting by the pool and one of my clients come out there. We just talking, we relax. I forgot to emphasize that this is the same client that was just in my room a few hours before, informing me that Wars touched her and she was wanting to know her sexual orientation. And she mentioned last night, but she didn't mention that again. So I was thinking, like, was she telling me that in a suggestive way, or was she just mentioning it just because she was feeling good? Like, I didn't know, y'all, and I definitely didn't want to be the one to bring it up, so I didn't. Or whatever. And we're just like taking the view. It's like a really pretty view where my room is at. So I'm just outside and I'm talking to her, and she was just like, girl, last night was crazy as hell. And I'm like, I'm tired, like my body still hurts. I want to go back to sleep or whatever. And she's like, I am too. I'm gonna, if I do come down to get breakfast, I'm just gonna take breakfast into my room because like I'm just dead tired. Like I might even mix the excursion today. So I'm like, all right, no problem, cool. I go towards his room. By this point, I was sitting by the pool for like maybe an hour, y'all. I knock on Wars's door again, y'all. Remember, homegirl just said it was a problem with me like entering her room without waiting for her to give me the okay to come in her room. Mind you, we had just seen each other anatomy. We were showering together, so it wasn't like when I came to her room, she was like, whoa, no, like, remember, y'all, she can describe how my whole areola and all my business looked like. It was never any of that. So I was confused where the hostility was coming from when it came to her feeling like she needed privacy when I didn't have that. So I knock on the door, y'all. Nobody answers the door. I'm knocking. Nobody comes to the door. So I'm like, damn, I know she not asleep. I'm like peeking through the blind or whatever because she had her blind like partially open and I still seen that she was asleep. So I'm like, all right, she's asleep. It is what it is. Fast forward, I want to say it's going on like 9-10 o'clock. We about to get ready and get breakfast. I go knock on her door again. This is unlike her not to be like up and moving, y'all. So I knock on her door. I go ahead and open the door and I enter the room. And I was like, Wars, I'm letting you know, I'm announcing as I'm entering her room. I'm like, Wars, I'm just coming here to get some of the makeup and we're getting ready to leave for the Bali our excursion for the day, y'all. We were doing the it was like the Bali swing day with like the long beautiful dresses. So I'm telling her that and she's like, I'm not really feeling good. All right, you can just take the makeup. I'm not doing my makeup today. So I'm like, all right. I grabbed the makeup or whatever. And as I'm on my way out, she's like, remember, I told you. That was you knocking on my door this morning. I need privacy. Like, it was early as hell. I need privacy. And I'm like, okay. Mind you, y'all, she's supposed to be up recording breakfast and getting content of the chefs. This is a work trip. So I take the makeup bag and I go ahead and I leave the room. Go to my room. I get ready. Again, like I said, nothing memorable happened this day. Like it was just, we were just at the Bali swing place. We recorded content. We rode the swings. They have like other little sightseeing things that you can see. After that, I believe we went out to eat. Let me look right here at my pictures because I don't want to skip nothing, y'all. Okay, we do that literally all day. I think, let's see what time that started. Breakfast started at 10 o'clock. Breakfast started at 10 o'clock every morning. We got to the Bali swing place we got there by 12 o'clock. I'm lying, y'all. We got there by 12:30. And then we left by 2 o'clock. Or maybe, no, it was probably 3 o'clock. Let me see. Yeah, we left by 3 o'clock. After that, when we got back home, all the girls, we literally we went and got in the pool. We were having drinks and we were just talking or whatever. We were in the pool. Fast forward to that night, we were going out to dinner. I forgot the name of the place, but it was like this magical place, kind of like a fine dining restaurant in Bali, but it was like super magical. I cannot think of the name, but I'm gonna put it right here on the screen because if you do have a trip coming up, I would definitely recommend this place. This is like one of the highlights of my trip, y'all. So we're at this place, and it's basically a type of, it's like a spiritual, magical, whimsical type of place. And they have these different cards where you would pick, I believe, 3 cards, and the cards would tell you what to get for your entree, your dessert, and I believe your main course. Well, entree is the main course. What is it? Your appetizer, y'all. It basically tells you what to get when you pull the cards. You can choose to get that, and you can pay a set price of, I don't remember exactly how much the price was, but I think maybe the price was maybe like $50 or $60. I don't really recall. But I know that it was considered like a fine dining restaurant. In Indonesia, that's really expensive, like 50, 60 US dollars. There, that's over a million. That's really expensive. So we get the cards or whatever. We're at the table. I pull my card, and my card, I know I'm gonna put my meal right here. I had steak, I believe asparagus. It's one of them fancy places where they give you like 3 pieces of asparagus and they charge you like $20 for the asparagus alone. It's one of those type of places, y'all. So I got asparagus, I got steak, and then I don't recall what else it came with. I think maybe mashed potatoes probably. They gave me 3 pieces of asparagus. They gave me a really small steak, and they gave me about a handful of mashed potatoes. And mashed potatoes was the only thing that was about right on a plate. So she does her picking or whatever. And she's telling me before her food comes, she's just like, I really want salmon. I really want steak. I'm really feeling steak. Mind you, y'all, I didn't explain this so much at the beginning of the story time, but all of this was already explained to her. I explained how the business breakdown goes on trips when it comes to like the budget, when it comes to like the food budget, the excursion budget. I explain all of that to her. I tell her anytime we go on trips, all of your meals, everything is paid for by the business. It's paid for by my business, y'all. But I like to keep the budget as low as possible. Of course, when I fly, if I want to, I could fly business every time. It's in my budget to fly that, but why would I do that and take money from my business instead of investing that money back in my business? So anytime I go on my business trips, I fly economy. Because I'm not using my personal money, I'm using my business money. So I'm trying to be cost effective as possible. Y'all get what I'm saying? So when we go out, I tell my girls, you can get what you want, but be very mindful of the budget or whatever. So Lord, she knew all of this prior to the trip. She's like, I really want this. I think I'm gonna probably just get, she's sitting right beside me. She's like, I think I'm just gonna get chicken. And then she pulls her card, y'all. Her card pulls for her to get, I want to say it was salmon and like an eggplant. It was something that I don't think she really wanted, y'all. So later she tells the server to come back, and before she does it, she's like, Aisha, I want steak. Can I have steak? Oh, at the table in front of all the girls. I'm like, yeah, of course. If you want steak, you can have steak. But in my mind, y'all, I'm thinking, what happened to you being very mindful of the budget? This is already a free trip for you, and you haven't been doing the work that you were supposed to do. Like, you just yelled at a client less than 24 hours ago. So why would you be trying to get steak on my tab when you was just telling me that you knew, like, if the girls that get it, you get it. I'm not gonna go too much in detail, y'all, because it's a lot more behind it. But basically, we not there yet. We really not there yet, y'all. Anyway, y'all, she orders this steak. I think, if I'm not mistaken, she gets the exact same meal that I get. I think we probably had like different drinks or whatever. She orders a few drinks. You know, it's cool. After that, if I'm not mistaken, we did go out to the club that night. Let me look at something. Let me look. Did we go out to the club that night? I think we did. Or maybe we played games that night, y'all. Let me just go ahead and skip to the next part. Oh, this video getting kind of long, but I know I'm probably not going to give y'all part 6 until I get back from my trip. And that's going to be in about a week, y'all. So let me give y'all the part that I want to get to. So that following day, I don't think we went out that night, or if we did go out to the club that night, I don't think the whole group, because like I said, we were really tired from the day before. The Bali swing place, it really wore us out. It was really hot in Bali, like the sun just takes all your energy out. So I think we just had like a low-key night that night. The following day, this was the day that we were supposed to be going to the Krita place, the place with all the pools. This is what I wanted to tell y'all, but I had the dates out of order, y'all. We were supposed to be going to that place, and before we went to that place, I think when we first arrived, some of the girls were like outside. They were like vendors across the streets and little shoppies where you can buy Balinese hats and different gear and just like different souvenir stuff. So some of the girls were like shopping, and the rest of the girls, they was waiting at the Krita place. Once everybody got done doing their getting their like little souvenirs and stuff, we went over to the Krita place, and of course I'm hosting the trip, y'all. I booked everything, so I went to the reservation counter. But while I'm at the reservation counter, all the other girls are like, if I have content or if I can find a picture of the setting, because I want to really set the scene for y'all on how diabolical this was. Literally all the girls, some of the girls I think are like, I think everybody's standing at this point because it was crowded this day. Everybody's standing. There's a rope right here, and this is for the people that's basically in line for the reservations. So my co-host is beside me, Wars, and I'm at the counter, y'all, and the lady is asking me to give her the reservation numbers or whatever, because she was scanning it on like a QR code, but for some reason some of them wasn't coming up, or I had screenshotted it twice, so it was coming up as the previous one. So I'm like looking through my email or whatever, and the lady's also like typing stuff into her system or whatever. And all of a sudden, y'all, I'm sitting there waiting or whatever. The girls, all my clients are waiting. They're like maybe 2-3 yards from us, and they're just waiting or whatever. It's hot. We're just at the reservation desk. Wars is like staring me down for some reason, and I'm like, what you looking at? Like, she just staring at me, y'all. And she starts like touching my nails or whatever. Like, she's touching my nails like this. My nails are like, I'm at the reservation counter like this, y'all. I have my hand right here, and the lady's looking up our reservation, and she's touching my nails. All of a sudden, she starts bending my finger back, y'all. She's literally bending my finger back. And at first, I thought she was just going like this, just, you know, being playful with my hand. But she literally is going like this. She's bending my finger back. And I try to like pull my finger from her. And I'm like, ow, stop that. That hurt or whatever. And then she looks at me and she's just like, what you gonna do?
Y'all, she proceeds to tell me that she would break my finger. And she kind of has this playful look on her face. But at the same time, are you dead ass? I'm at the reservation counter.
And she has like a very stern face, like a look on her face. She's like, what you gonna do? And I'm like, stop, that hurts. Like, are you dead ass right now? Like, stop. So she's pushing my finger up. And I'm like, Wards, I will pop you in your shit. Let my finger go. She was like, you ain't gonna do nothing. You is not gonna do nothing, girl. You little. I'll throw you. I'll break you in half. And y'all, I'm literally at the reservation counter. All the girls are a few yards from me.
Y'all, I kept looking over there at my clients because I'm like, are they seeing this? Like, are you for real? So I keep looking over there discreetly, trying to, like, you know, hide the fact that I'm raising my voice and she's playing with me.
And she's doing this. And at the time, I'm like, what the? Are you really doing this at the moment? And I'm looking at her and I'm like, I will pop you in your shit. Let go of my hand. Let go of my hand. She's like, girl, I'll break you in half. Just basically antagonizing me. All of this is literally out of nowhere, y'all. And while she's saying this, she's still pulling my finger. So she pulls my finger back just a little bit more. I snatch my finger back and I punch her in the chest. And she's like, you punch like a bitch. And we gonna end it right there. We gonna end it right there. And I'm curious to know, y'all, because when I say I kept it very, very P, I kept it very, very P. And I just want to know, if you was on that trip and you my client, did y'all peep any of this? Because after this happened, when I tell y'all what happened next, I was pissed. When I say I was pissed because I was so poised. I acted with so much decorum the entire trip. And I really didn't want to let her get me out of character. She was trying to get me out of character the entire time. And this day, it was evident. And I was so confused because I'm at the reservation counter trying to get us into the spot, and you really trying to make me pop my shit at the reservation counter. You really are trying to make me come out of character. You're really trying to make me get active. And I was so mad. Just like the video, get the video to 2K, 3K likes for part 6. Yeah, y'all. If you went on that trip, and because some of y'all are on my Patreon, let me know if you peeped that. Let me know if y'all peeped any of this going on this day, because this was the day that I almost lost my shit, y'all. Peace.